I am so in love with this Mobius cowl. It's worked up in Be So Brave yarn, my 100% American merino wool yarn that's worsted weight, and I've used and it's worked sideways. So you cast on this way, work sideways, and when you come around to the end, you have like a scarf, and you either twist the scarf to make a Mobius twist like this, or you could leave it straight when seaming and you would have a cowl. Use this really wonderful stitch pattern. It's a really fun and entertaining stitch pattern. It's a 4-row repeat, 2 rows of plain knitting, 1 row of decreasing in the repeat. It's a 4-stitch repeat, so on 1 row we decrease the repeats down to 3 stitches, and then on the next row we increase it back to 4 stitches, and I'll show you what that means when we get started. You're going to need a size 10.5 knitting needles, which is 6.5 millimeter, and I'm going to be using Be So Brave yarn, my worsted weight merino wool. This was colorway Huckleberry Pie, and today I'm going to be using Everglades, which is a dark teal green. And what you want to do to get started is cast on any number of stitches that is a repeat of 4 and knit 2 rows. If you want to make the actual cowl, you'll want to get the free pattern, which is on my website, and you can get that pattern from the link in the video description. Okay, I've got 2 rows completed that are just plain knitting, and then the next row is one of our pattern rows. We're going to start with knit 3. Then we're going to slip 1 stitch purlwise, and what that means is you're going to position your needle as though you're going to purl the next stitch, but you're just going to slip it to the right hand needle. Knit the next 3. Then pass that slipped stitch up and over those 3 stitches and off the needle like that. So it's a horizontal loop around those 3 stitches. So now that's the 4-stitch repeat across the row. So we're going to slip the next stitch purlwise, knit the next 3, and then pass that slipped stitch up and over those 3 stitches and off the needle. Oh, and then we're going to do that again. Slip the next stitch purlwise, knit the next 3, and pass that slip stitch up and over the 3 stitches and off the needle. And you're going to want to repeat that all the way across your row until you get to the last stitch, and then you're going to knit the last stitch. So the first 3 stitches and the last stitch of the row are our selvage stitches. So that means that they're going to be the same at the beginning and end of each row. And our 4-stitch repeat is in here. So for every one of those 4-stitch repeats, we've now reduced them down to 3 stitches. So of those 3, we now have 3 stitches instead of 4. So your stitch count will change based on that for that row. Okay, so on the next row, we're going to increase back to our original stitch count, and it's really simple. We're going to start by knitting 1 stitch, which is our selvage edge, and then the 4-stitch repeat is to knit 3, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, and then we'll knit our last 3 stitches, which is our other edge, that's selvage edge. So now we're back to our original stitch count, and you're going to want to knit the next 2 rows. Remember that on the first row after the yarn overs, you're going to knit the stitches and the yarn overs the same, each one as a knit one. So you want to knit the next 2 rows, and then I will show you again how to do those 2 pattern rows. Okay, we knit 2 more rows even, so I'm going to show you the pattern stitch rows one more time, and we're going to start with a knit 3, which is our first selvage edge. Okay, and now we're going to slip one purlwise, which means we're going to position our needle as though we're going to purl the next stitch, but we're just going to slip it to the right hand needle. Knit the next 3 and pass the slip stitch up and over the 3 stitches and off the needle. We're going to slip the next stitch purlwise, knit 3, pass the slip stitch up and over the 3 stitches, slip the next stitch purlwise, knit 3, pass the slip stitch up and over the 3 stitches and off the needle, and knit the last stitch, knit 1. Okay, so now we have a reduced number of stitches. For each repeat, we've reduced from 4 stitches to 3. And now on the following row, we are going to increase back to our original stitch count with some yarn overs. We'll start with knit 3. Start with knit 1 for our selvage stitch. Then we're going to knit 3, yarn over, and that is our 4 stitch repeat now. Knit 3, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, and then we come to our last 3 selvage stitches and we're just going to knit 3. So now we are back to our original stitch count, and the remainder of the row repeat is to knit 2 rows. I'm going to show you what it looks like on a gauge swatch that I've done that's a little bit larger. This is the swatch that I did before I made the cowl. It's a really squishy, really cozy and comfortable size that I made. Make sure that you go to my website, follow the link in the video description to get the line-by-line instructions to make this beautiful Mobius cowl, and from there you can find more information about my yarn, Be So Brave.